There it goes. Irritating there. Make you smaller. Yeah, there we go. You there. You there. Okay. There. Now I should have full access to both chats here. Cool. So that worked. Don't need that. Alright, where are we going? Let's see here. Skills required. You don't need to be an amazing artist. That's good, because I'm not. You don't need to be an amazing musician. No, that's good, because my taste in music is ass at best. You don't need to be an amazing programmer. That's good, because I'm not a programmer at all. What kind of game should I make? Everyone wants to make the biggest, most impressive game that they've ever seen at first. They want to show it off for clout and admiration from others. They want to make something worthy of praise. Yeah, I don't know that I want that kind of recognition. I think I would rather make a box move, because I think I've watched pirate software enough to know that that's where I should start, is I should make a box move. There is no best engine. Well, that's good. This right here. Risk of Rain was made in Game Maker and MS Paint. Yes, you read that right, MS Paint. The cost of your tools does not define the value of what you make, which is phenomenal. Godot is a beast, completely built by his community, fully open source, and entirely free. Also, confusing as shit when you first open it. There is no best art program. Well, I like Paint.net. I still use MS Paint though. Does it count as having a viewer if you're watching your own stream? I think it does. I think I have a viewer because I'm watching my own stream. Close that out. I just want to make sure everything looked good. How do I raise money? Well, I don't actually care about money. Like, I don't think I'm going to spend any money on this. Streaming. Well, I'm already on Twitch and I'm already on YouTube, and I don't give any fucks about publishers. Merchandise, though. Alright, let's open up Discord here. What? I don't care. Probably should have done that. Alright, where's my Discord at? I opened it up. It's over here. Alright, so let's go to Pyro Software Discord here. Let's go down to Game Dev Resources. So we have his website. We've already been there. Fantastic place to look for a wide range of engines out there. The engine database. And Godot right there. Pretty sure I already downloaded it too. What's the exe install here? Nope. Here we go. Alright, so let's go ahead and remove this. And let's go new project. Make a box move. Why the fuck not? Like, sure. New folder. Move box. Mobile compatibility. Forward plus. Supports desktop platforms only. Advanced 3D graphics. Can scale large complex scenes. Use render device backend. Slowly renders simple scene. Get versus none. Mobile, less advanced 3D graphics, less scalable complex scenes. Use rendering device backend. Fast rendering of simple scenes. Compatibility. Supports desktop, mobile, and web platforms. There we go. Least advanced 3D graphics. Currently work in progress. Well, I don't really care about 3D graphics when I'm gonna make a box move. Like that's the ultimate goal here, is just make a box move. Uses OpenGL 3 backend. Fastest rendering of simple scenes. Sure, that's what we're gonna go for. So we're gonna go over here. We should just move these here so it's more viewable. Maybe adjust that window. There we go. Alright, so at this point I have absolutely no idea where to start. Help. Online documentation. Let's go there. Frequently asked questions. What can I do with Godot? How much it costs? What are license terms? Which platforms? Programming languages? GD script? Motivation? 3D models? Will insert SDK such as Fmod game or be supporting Godot? I don't even know what that is. How can I extend Godot? Alright, so I guess we're going to YouTube. Let's see here. Godot engine. That's cool. Selling Godot games. Godot game. Crash course for beginners. Hell yeah. Oh, I can't. Oh, it's muted.
With Godot 4.0. Omazaki created this course.
Let's go here.
This course is perfect for those who are new to game development
Pause that
and
music.
want to learn the ins and outs of the Godot game engine. Throughout the course, you'll learn everything from setting up your first 2D scene and animating the player, to designing enemies, incorporating UI elements, and implementing game-saving features. By the end of this adventure, you'll have a solid foundation in Godot 4.0 and the skills to create your very own captivating platformer game.
Okay, so
Welcome
they're
everyone
going
to this course.
from... I mean, this video is for 4.0, and we're on 4.2.1, so I imagine... Let's see. I mean, the UI looks pretty much the same, so I don't think that'll be that big of an issue. Let's go back to where we were.
In this course, you will be learning a variety of different topics, including animating a player, parallax background. We're going to be going through saving and loading. We're going to also be able to create a very simple but nice AI mob that's going to have nice control on it. And then lastly, we're going to have collectibles. And as a bonus, which we'll
skip to setting
download it. So as you can see, it was very quick. It took a minute, and that's a lot easier than Unity or Unreal Engine. So the next thing we're going to want to do is actually create a project. So now, as you can see, these are my projects. So once you've created a project, it will always show up here. We have the about. We don't have to worry about that. We have asset library projects. We're not going to worry about this either, but it might be useful for you later on, maybe once you finish watching this video. Essentially, this is a public repository for people who actually use the engine and make their own projects and want to share it with fellow developers. So if you want to actually download your own demo or upload your own demo, that would be here. So there is also a website you can do that, which would be really cool, but this is also built into the Godot engine. So aside from that, we're going to be going to local projects. This is going to be on your actual computer. So we're going to go hit new project. We're going to choose where we want this first, and I'm going to put this in my desktop. So you can choose wherever you want to put it. And let's name this new platformer game. And here we are going to have to create a folder. So we have the option create folder. It has created a folder on the side, as you can see, right above my head. And now we have a few different options. We have forward, mobile, compatibility. Now, what are these? So forward is essentially for 3D graphics. You can read it. It's basically just for 3D. Yeah, if you're doing a 3D game, you do forward plus. If you're doing a 2D game, basically just for testing, and it has we're just going to be using mobile. And at the time of this video, if none of these are available, or if they change a little bit, just look for the one that's more suited for 2D. But obviously this is just the renderer, so we're not going to worry too much about it. And for the version control, you can just go click none, and that's it. So now let's create an edit, and it's going to create our project. There we go, and we're left with a complete blank slate. And as you can see, our screen is completely blank. Let me explain. Let's go through a few things. So on the top, we have 2D and 3D. So as you can see, when I click the 3D, it shows us kind of a 3D plane, and we have 3 planes, right? So we have the blue, red, and green, and that just signifies that we're in a 3D plane. And if we go to 2D, well, everything kind of becomes 2D. So we also have script. We don't have any scripts yet, so they're completely empty. We have asset library. That's essentially the library that you guys saw before. This is things that it's basically a public repository. It's very useful, but in the moment, we're not going to use it. Okay. Next up is the actual scene. So let's get started with our actual scene. So in order to actually run something, we need a scene. What is it? What is a scene, you might ask? Well, a scene is essentially something that we save in our project. So on the left here, we can see that there's a bunch of nodes and things. So what we're going to do is we're just going to click 2D scene. We're going to rename this by double clicking. We're going to type main. We're going to click Control S, and we're going to save it into our main folder. So this is our main folder, which is res dot / whatever. And there we go. We now have our main scene. Now we can go to the top right. You see a run project or F5. We can click that, and we're going to select current. And this will just run our project into main. And so now we've run our first project in Godot. Awesome. Next up is going to actually be adding things to that scene. So what do we want to do? Well, first of all, we have to plan what we actually want to do, right? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to actually create a menu screen. So to do that, we're going to add buttons. And when we go into
I want to create a menu screen.
Godot, essentially, that we top here allows us to add is we're going to add buttons. So that will load, and so we have our bone, our very, so can't find options. So our button is our button, textual button, and you want to be, if we zoom in a little bit, we can see our button and kind of just make it a little bigger and zoom back out, and we can kind of drag it to the middle. And now what we can do is add text to it on the right. So on the right, we can see that there is text, and we can just add to it. And we can now see that we can add text and we can add play. So let's add 2 buttons. So to duplicate it, what we can just do is Control D, or you can just right click and Control duplicate. So this one.
Okay. Let's go back to here. Let's go with a Node 2.0. Box move menu. Not that I really want to do with a menu. Control play button. Sure. What the hell am I doing here? What's this do then? Oh, yeah, I don't know. Actually know what that does, but okay. So let's undo you, your play. So okay, so he made it there. That's not what I wanted. Let's go here. So where'd this box go? Oh, I made it fucking massive. I don't need it to be that massive. Let's go. Tooltip. Nope, that's not the right spot. So where was he at? He was under button properties. Was it labeled a button?
And we can have, so on the right, kind of drag, just make it a little.
I said control, and I fucking went in there. So let's delete you. Let's go add button. There we go. Let's create this button. Excuse me. Let's also make this a play button. Actually, let's click to make box move. That's what we want. Which, I mean, I guess I can just rename this to play, because it's essentially what it is.
Bigger. Now see that we can add text and we can add play. So let's add 2 buttons. So to duplicate it, what we can just do is Control D, or you can just right click and Control duplicate. So this one will be the play button. So let's see, rename that to play. This will be our quit button. So we're going to rename this to quit. And right here, we're just going to.
Okay, so I need a quit button. Okay, so click to make box move. Let's go here. You said Control D. Make this one a quit button. Move this one down here. And then click to not make box move. I just buck up my camera. Nope, we're good. Okay. Alright, so back to the tutorial.
I'm going to drag this down. We're going to type the text as quit on the right, so you can see the text has changed to quit. And if I zoom in, I should be able to see both of them now. So the first thing we're going to do is add a script to the main. So to add a script, as you on the top left above me, you should be able to see it. Attach a new script. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at these. So we have templates, and essentially what we want to do is just add the template node default. This is going to basically add a completely new script that has nothing on it.
Okay. Let's go here. Node default. Ooh. Okay. I'll do the same thing for this one. Create. This is where things get fun. All right. Back to the video.
The language at the moment, we only have GDScript. If you want more languages, I'm pretty sure you have to export that or import that into Godot. But we're not going to do that. We're just going to be using GDScript. And the path that we wanted, you can change that here if you have more folders. However, we don't have any folders yet, so we're just going to save it in main. So let's create it. And now we're going to save. And now what we're going to do is we're just going to delete these. We don't need any of those functions. So now all we need is extend node 2D. So let's go to our quit button. And what we'll do is we'll go to the scene and click our quit button. And on the left, or on the right, sorry, we have inspector, node, and history. So inspector essentially allows us to change all the settings of the actual button and how it looks, all those things. So we have layout, we have transform, we're able to change the transform of it, the size, position, scale, rotation, we can rotate it around. I would definitely recommend, if you don't understand any of this, definitely play around with it. It's really cool to kind of just play around with things and see how it works. We have tooltip. This is actually kind of cool. If you hover it, it'll perfectly explain it. It's essentially when I hover it, it'll give me something. So let's type in, this is the quit button. Now, if I play this and I hover it, it'll give me a tooltip. It'll say what this is. This is the quit button. So we don't want that in our game, so we're just going to remove that. But it is very useful for other various things, right? So we have focus, a bunch of other things that you might not understand, but that's okay. So for now, just kind of play around with things that you might understand, and let's move on. So the next thing we're going to do is go to node. And now in here, we have signals and groups. So groups, we're not going to use. However, there are good videos on it. I would definitely recommend learning it. It is a very powerful tool in Godot. So aside from that, we have signals. That's what we're going to be focusing on and using. So signals are essentially, when I click the button, I want something to happen. If I want something to happen, I have to send a signal. So I have to send the signal from this button to the script. So how do I do that? Well, I do that here. So how do I actually do that though in here? So what I can do is I basically look through all these signals and look for something. So this will tell me, this will send a signal when the button is pressed. This will send a signal when the button goes down. This will send me a signal when the button goes up, etc. So there's a bunch of different things that are in here that are very useful. So the first thing we're going to do, or we want, is pressed. So we want to check if the button is pressed. To do that, all we do is double click it. We double click pressed. This will pop up. And now we can just connect it to our main script. So we don't have to change anything. We just press connect. And now in here, we now have a function that goes from quit to script. So in here,
so he said I did not need any of that stuff whatsoever. So let's go back to 2D. Click on this one. Let's go node. Select node. To edit signals in groups. Okay. Well, I thought I had a node selected. Do I not have the node selected? There we go. So let's go button pressed. Quick connecting button. On pressed. Ooh, what's advanced? Extra call. Ooh. I lost things there that I don't know what they do. Alright, so cancel that. So
here, in here, main script. So we don't have to change anything. This will pop up, and now we can just connect it to our main script. So we don't have to change anything. We just
why are we connecting it to the main script? Did we not make a script? Are we supposed to make main a script? Oh, I see. And then I made scripts for the other things. Oh, I see. Let's go ahead and delete. Yeah. No. No. There we go. Close this one. Discard changes. Okay. Alright, so we're going to go here and create the script. Default node. Create. And now we'll go here and delete that stuff that he said. Now, we'll go back to here, go to here, click pressed. Go there. Turn it advanced off because it doesn't need to be there. Connects to script, filter node. That's not what he had though.
we're going to save and the or on the allows us to, we have would let's do that, but that's okay. Let's move on. Groups. So groups, learning it is a very on, and I want something to happen to the script. So how do I do that? Well, I look through all when the button is pressed. This will send us things. So we want to check if the button is pressed. To do that, all we do is double click it. We double click pressed. This will pop up, and now we can just connect it to our main script. So we don't have to change anything. We just press connect, and now in here we.
Okay. Connect.
Now have a function that goes from quit to script. So in here, what we'll do is we'll actually program the quit function. So to do that, we're just going to say get tree dot quit. And now all we have to do is play. And test dot the quit function.
Okay, so he deleted that line, and then used get tree. So let's go here. Get tree dot quit. Be right back. All right, back to this part here. So get tree, quit.
So to do that, we're just going to say get tree dot quit. And now all we have to do is play and test it.
Okay, well, let's play and test it. No main scene has ever been defined. Select one. Cool. Click not to make box move, closes it.
Awesome. We now have a quit button that works. So every time I play and I click the quit button, it will now quit our game. So that is how we create a super simple quit button. All we have to do is get tree. This will essentially get the entire tree and then quit. So actually explain that a little bit better. So when we play our game, we have on the left, we have remote or local and remote. So local are the things that I'm locally changing. I'm changing in here, right? When I play the game, remote is like the actual thing that is happening in the game, right? So here's our main function that we have. And if I have something else, it'll also be in here. So root is the root of the entire game that I have. Now above this, what it doesn't show is tree. It's not really above it, but it's more so everything. So this entire thing is tree. So what we're doing in our script is we're getting the tree and this entire thing, and then we're going to quit, right? So that's how we essentially quit the game. Awesome. Next up is play. We want to actually have a play button. So to do that, we're going to have to create another scene. So here on the left, right next to my head, you should be able to see main.scene. Now we want another scene that will be our world. So this is going to be our world. So we're going to save it as world. We're going to save it. We're going to save it in here. And now next to my head, you should be able to see world. So we're going to basically take our play. We're going to connect it to our main, and we're going to go to world. Now I want you to try connecting the signal into your main function and pause the video. So pause the video. Have a play button. So to do that, we're going to have to create another scene. So here on the left, right next to my head, you should be able to see main.scene. Now we want another scene that will be our world. So this is going to be our world. So we're going to...
Okay. Cancel. Oh, 2D. Here we go. So I have this right here. Then I want a new scene. There should be node, right? Node 2D. Or
going to save it. Another scene that will right next to have a play button. So to do that, we're going to have to create another scene. So here...
Oh. Cancel. This button. 2D scene. World. Oh, yeah, world. Place that boxes move. All right, next.
Here on the left, right next to my head, you should be able to see main.scene. Now we want another scene that will be our world. So this is going to be our world. So we're going to save it as world. We're going to save it. We're going to save it in here. And now next to my head, you should be able to see world. So
I didn't save it. There we go. What? Why not? Why can't I save it? Save branches scene. How the fuck?
we're going to save it. Our world. So this is going to be our world. So we're going to save it as world. We're going to save it. We're going to...
How did he save it? Did he click something?
Head, you should be able to see main.scene. Now we want another scene that will be our world. So this is going to be our world. So we're going to save it as world. We're going to save it. We're going to save it in here.
So box move menu, which is my scene right here. So let's go new scene. Scene name, world, 2D scene. Okay. Now we want to save it. Don't save that one. This one. Save scene. Okay.
And now next to my head, you should be able to see world. So we're going to basically take our play, we're going to connect it to our main, and we're going to go to world. Now I want you to try connecting the signal into your main function. And
okay, so I want to connect the signal. He wants me to pause there. So let's go back to move menu, 2D. Click to box make move, or click to make box move is my play button. So when it's pressed, on press, connect, and then function on play pressed. They went get tree. Alright, so I've got all these different nodes over here. Canvas, control. So if I was to get tree and quit, well, let's try get tree. And then dot auto accept quit. Call group, call flags, change scene to file, change scene to pack, create timer. Let's just see. Change screen, edit root screen, current screen, reload current screen, unload current screen or scene. Get tree. Sorry. No. Scene multiplier, scene tree. Let's see. It didn't tell me how to do it. But if I went the same way with get tree and quit, that's probably something similar to that. Ooh. Get transform, get world 2D. Can I hover over these? Doesn't tell me things? No. I don't think that's right. Indent, toggle comment, toggle bookmark. Nope, that's not what I want. Oh my god, what did I just do? Just like minimize everything. Try connecting the signal into your main function. Pause the video. There. All right, well.
Pause the video. So pause the video, try that, and if it doesn't work, unpause the video, and I will now do it. So let's do it. So let's go to pressed. Let's go to the node signal pressed, and let's connect it to our main. So in here, we now have our play press button or function or signal. Sorry. Now, what do we want to do? We want to change the scene. So how do we do that? Well, there's a function where we can just say get tree. We'll say get tree, and then we will say change scene to file or to packed. Now there's two different options. Which one are we going to do? We're going to do to file. To packed is something different that we don't usually use. So we're going to...
Oh, I was close. I should have... As soon as I found out that I could scroll down on that thing, I should have... Get tree dot change scene to file to world.
We're going to do to file, and we're going to go to the world scene. So essentially what we're doing is we're getting the tree, and we're just going to change our scene, which is the main, into the file world, right? So we can see our world here. And another way to change this, just a quick tip, if you wanted to change this, maybe you chose the wrong thing, what you can do is highlight it or just delete it, and we can select the actual thing that we want, like world, and we just drag it in.
Oh.
Or a third option is copy path and copy paste it. As you can see, that's the path of the world's file. So now what we can do is we can, let's actually be able to differentiate this by going to our world. And what we'll do is we'll add a node. We'll just add a label. So what a label is it's just text. It's basically just a label that actually adds text to our screen. So we'll say this is the world, and then we'll save this, we'll play. And now what we can do is press play, and now we change to this is the world. So we let's actually be able to differentiate this by going to our world. And what we'll do is we'll add a node. We'll just add a label. So what a label is it's just text. It's basically...
Okay. Let's go mess around with this a little bit. World 2D here. Let's see. What kind of nodes do we got? Let's, oh, that's because I have typed in button. Animation player, animation tree, animation stream player, canvas layer. A node used to create a parallax scrolling background. That's cool. Shader skeleton IK3D. A node used to rotate all bones of skeleton 3D bone chain a way that places the end bone at desired 3D position. Okay, these are 3D nodes. Let's go to 2D nodes here. Animated sprite. Sprite node that contains multiple textures as frames to play animation. Audio 2D. Back buffer copy. Node that copies a region of the screen to buffer for access in shader code. That's cool. Camera, collision, canvas. Let's do this one. Create. Oh, there's an error. Sprite frame resources must be created or set in the frames property in order for animation to display. Oh. Okay, well, I guess we're not going to add that then. 2D nodes. Implies a tint. So, attach script? No. Maybe. Let's see here. Wait a minute, canvas will redraw after the notification draw. Blah, 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 draw. Child entered tree. Emitted when a child node enters the scene tree either because it entered on its own or because the node with it. The signals emitted after the child's known own notification entered tree and entry entered. Okay. Okay, well, I don't have anything to do with that either. All right. Back to the video.
Really just a label that.
That's right. He did make a label. So let's leave this right there, I guess, and go here. We're going to make a label, create the label. Inside the label, we're going to go, this is the label for this game. You make a box move.
Actually adds text to our screen. So we'll say this is the world, and then we'll save this, we'll play, and now what we can do is press play, and now we change to this is the world. So we've changed.
Click to make the box move. It's the label. You make the box move. Okay, well, there should probably be a fucking escape button or something, so that I could go back and quit, but there's not.
Our scene to the world scene. Awesome. All right, so the next thing we're going to want to do is download this asset pack. This is going to be the art that we use for our game. So the first thing we're going to do is click download. You don't have to pay. You can just say, no thanks, take me to the downloads. And we're going to download all 4 of these. Once you click download, it'll prompt you to take...
Yeah, I don't care about any of that. I don't care about the resources.
Need to do is make sure that the pixelation is proper. So in order to do that, here we can see the pixelation is proper for the Godot icon. However, for you, it might not look like that. So to fix that, in our project settings, what we're going to do is we're going to go to filter settings, and then we're going to search up texture. And then we'll be prompted to rendering textures. We're going to unselect the filter setting, but now we have textures. For you, it might not look like that. So to fix that, in our project settings, what we're going to do is we're going to go to filter settings, and then we're going to search up texture. And then we'll be prompted to rendering textures. We're going to unselect the filter setting, but now we have textures selected. Here in the default textures filter, you can see mine is nearest. However, the default is linear. So we're going to want to change that to near.
Oh, okay. I can work with that. I might download those assets, or at least one of them, specifically to phaser, music, land assets, Godot project. That's the one that I want. Check internet connection. Stupid. I think my internet connection's fine. Let's go ahead and extract these. Extract it into a folder. Yeah. Icon. Cool. So let's go back to here. Can I just add this in here just like that? Oh, I can? That seems good. This is going to be the box that I make move. Or at least that's what I'm going to try to do. All right, now let's zoom in on here. I don't see the grid that he had. Yeah, okay. was I doing? Back here.
Nearest, or you're going to want to do that. All right, and now let's close that, and now we can see that it's pixelated for you at least. And if it's not, we can actually look at the texture in each node. Each node will have its filter set to inherit. Inherit means we're just going to take the project settings which we just set. However, I can change it to linear or nearest or whatever you want. However, I'm just going to keep it as inherit, or I'm just going to delete this node because we don't need it. Next up, we're going to delete the label because we no longer need that.
Okay.
Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to get started on our player and background. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create our player first. So in order to do that, we have to make a character body 2D. So we're going to have this as a separate scene. The reason is because it's going to inherit this scene, and I'll explain that just in a second. So first, let's create a...
All right, well, I'm going to stop you there. I'm going to go back. I don't particularly want to delete my icon that I just put there, or delete my label, because I'm not going to delete my label. I'm actually going to center my label, and I'm going to leave it there. But now I'm going to go here, create other node. Is that what he did?
New folder. So we're going to player first.
Yeah.
So in order to do that, we...
So other node, and then character body type 2D create.
We have to make a character body 2D. So we're going to have this as a separate scene. The reason is because it's going to inherit this scene, and I'll explain that just in a second. So first, let's create a new folder for this guy and call it player, and then let's save it as player. So rename the node to player.
Okay, so now we need to go here, save scene, but we want a new folder, player. Yeah. Player box. Save.
Scene. So if you're wondering what TSCN stands for, it just means it's a scene. Next up, we're going to add, actually, let's not add the script just yet. Let's look at this error. What does this error say? Consider adding a collision shape 2D or collision polygon 2D as a child to define its shape. This node has no shape as it can't collide or interact with other players or things. So that is true. We now have to add a collision shape. Here you can read this error as well. It's basically just saying we haven't given it a shape. So now we have a character.
Okay. So we're going to go here and add a collision shape. Collision polygon, collision shape. Okay, well, let's create that. Okay.
Body 2D and its shape. So here we can actually define the shape. We'll give it a capsule. We can zoom in.
So, shape rectangle. What the shit? There's not a box? I mean, I guess rectangle is a box. Oh, there we go. I can make a square. There we go. Now, let's see here. What other do I got? Debug color. Sure. Visibility order, texture, filter, material. New shader material, no. Node, process, thread group, editor, description. I don't actually know, but I'm just going to leave that there. Script. It's empty.
And look at the capsule. So let's now add our sprite. So let's take a look at our files and look for our player. Should be in here. I'm going to look under PNG. I'm going to go to sprites. You can find player, and there we go. Now we have our player, and here we can see that we have a bunch of sprites. So here, now what we can do is find animated sprite 2D. We'll basically add a animated sprite, and we're going to go to sprite frames and make a new sprite. All right, so from here,
Okay, so let's go here. We're gonna add an, actually, and just probably just sprite 2D, animated sprite 2D, general purpose sprite fitting node. We're gonna use this one instead. And then we're gonna go to, I don't actually remember what
animation to sprite 2D. We'll basically add a animated sprite.
So
and we're going
he's got sprite frames there. Oh, that's the wrong thing. Texture empty. New viewport texture. New canvas texture. Press 2D texture. Let's just go to load. Icon. Open. Yeah.
We're going to go to sprite frames and make a new sprite. All right, so from here, what animation 2D or animated sprite allows us to do is basically organize all this. There's a different way to do this. However, we're going to be getting into that in a bit. So the first thing we're going to do is add all the animations we need. We're not going to use all of them. We're just going to use idle, run, and jump for now. Those are the three that we're going to use. So for idle, all we should be able to do, I believe, is just drag this in and drag and drop it. So select all of them and drag and drop. In jump, what we can do is just take all these and drag it in. So now we have up and down. And next, we'll go to run, drag all these and pop them in. The next thing we want to make sure that we're looking at, or one tip real quick, is if your sprites are sprite sheet like this, what we can do, so we have sprite run, what we can do instead, here, let's make a new run animation, or we'll do crouch. So let's look at, let's say this is crouch. So if you have a sprite sheet instead of separate files, what you can do is go over here to this add frame from sprite sheet, select it, and find the, nope, that's the house. We want to find the file that we're looking for. So double click PNG, sprite sheets, and now what we can do is, let's actually do the herd, because we might actually use this later on. So let's zoom in by control zooming. And now what we can do is actually adjust this. On the top left, we have horizontal and vertical. So for our vertical, we only have one, right? For the horizontal, we have two. So now we can select both the frames and add those two frames. And now we can see here, there's our hurt. So let's actually change this name to hurt. Or we'll actually change this to death. So that'll be our death animation. Okay, next up, we're going to actually take a look at animating these. So to do this very quickly and simply, we want to first actually make sure our player can do stuff and move, right? So let's go to our player, rename it player, go to script. We're going to add a script. We're going to use the template that Godot actually gives us. This is a new addition to Godot 4, so it's very useful. So let's just create it. We're not going to do built-in. If you do built-in, the file will not save here. It will just be built into the actual node, which we don't want. We want the path to be able to edit it later on. And
go here. Go here. Back.
We want to first actually make sure our player can do stuff and move, right? So let's go to our player, rename it player, go to script. We're going to add a script. We're going to use.
So that's not what I want. I want to go here because this is our player box and add. And then here, template, basic movements. Yeah, basic movement sounds good. Built-in script on.
Use the template that Godot actually gives us. This is a new addition to Godot 4, so it's very useful. So let's just create it. We're not going to do built-in. If you do built-in, the file will not save here. It will just be built into the actual node, which we don't want. We want the path to be able to edit it later on and look it up. So let's not have built-in. We're going to use the template and all this. Create, and now what we should have is
So, create. Now we got all kinds of things. Speeds 300, jump velocities minus 400. Interesting. Function physics, if not, is on floor. Input, press, velocity, jump. Direction, speed, movement towards velocity. Let's play this. Click to make box move. My box doesn't show up. Okay.
a nice default template for our code. And now what we can do is go to our world. We can add our player by actually finding our player. So let's find our player, drag him in, and there we go. We now have our player.
Oh. So now we can go to our world. Still has my label on it. Go down here to player box. Find player box or character body here. I'm sorry, go 2D. Here. Is there an automatic floor? It looks like there's an automatic floor. So we're just gonna start you there. Now let's hit play. Oh. There's not a floor. I guess I should have made a floor. Let's see if I can jump as soon as I hit play. Oh. Nope. All right.
Now what we want to do is actually add floor. So to do that, we're going to add a static body. A static body is a physics body for 2D physics, which is static or moves only by script. So this is useful generally for two things.
Static body. All right. Let's add body, rigid body, character body, static body. Create. All right. So static body says the node has no shape. It can't collide with other objects, considering adding a collision 2D shape or a collision polygon 2D to define it. So physics material, new physics material. No, let's not do that. Change that. Detect mode, make static, keep active. Collision. Sure. Transform. Rotation scale. Here we go. All right, well, let's go back to the video.
Either, a floor, or useful for walls and floors, or a platform that you might want to move yourself using code. So those are pretty useful things to use for this static body. And again, we have to add a collision shape for it. And for this one, it's actually very easy to create. What we can do is just drag the collision shape out, and that is our collision for the player. So we can now just save this as our floor.
I don't remember getting that option. Yeah, I definitely did not have that option. So let's delete you. Let's go world, add static body, right? That's what he added. It was a static body. Oh, no, it was a collision shape 2D. Oh, okay. So he added a static body and then he added the collision shape 2D. So create. want a collision shape 2D, and then on this one we can go with rectangle, and now we can move you down here. That might be too far down. We'll go here. Okay.
What we can do though for the wall is we can just duplicate this by saying Control D. We can Control D the collision shape, and what we have to do is make sure we actually make it unique. Why? Because what happens is if I Control D, if I duplicate it, if I edit this one, it actually edits the original one as well. So in order to change this or fix this, we're going to go to the shape on the top right and make it unique. So now when I edit this, it won't edit the first one. So now what we can do is duplicate this one and drag it over here, and that's our wall. All right, let's now also add a panel.
We're not getting to that part yet. First, we want to play. Yay! Yay! I made a box move. I did it. The box is moving. Did I make the thing big enough? Can I keep going that way? Oh no, I can't come back. I fell off into the unknown. Alright.
A panel is basically just a block of sprite, essentially. It's just a block panel that we can actually draw with. This isn't a good way to actually make a floor. We're going to add a legitimate floor later on, but for now, this will act as our visible floor. So now when I play, we can go play, and here's our character. He's showing the hurt animation, but that's okay. But now we can walk and run, or walk, stop, idle, and jump. Awesome. And we didn't do anything. We didn't even look at the code. But now what we can do is go back to the player code and take a look at it. So let's go through this and understand a little bit. So first, we're setting a few variables. We have speed, jump velocity, and gravity. Gravity is essentially just the gravity default that the project is using. The jump speed is -400, or jump velocity, sorry, and speed is 300. Now let's take a look at the actual code as to what is happening. So physics process is a function that is essentially called every physics second. So it's called, I believe it's like 600 or 6,000 times a second, something like that. It's a lot. So it's being called quite a bit. And next, and it's passing through delta. So if not is on floor, we're going to do this. So what does this mean? If not is on floor, meaning if we're in the air. So if we're in the air, we're going to actually add velocity, right? So we're going to add velocity to the y direction. We're going to add it as gravity times delta. So essentially, we're just making the player get pulled down if we're jumping or if we're in the air, right? If we're not on the floor, we're going to pull them down to the ground. Next up is we're going to see if we're jumping or if we're asking the player to jump. So this is going to check the input. So input is action just pressed, UI accept. This is a default input that we'll actually edit later on, but that's okay. For now, we'll leave it at that. And is on floor. So we can only jump if we're on the floor. And then we jump, right? So this is how we jump, by making the velocity equal to -400. And this will just essentially make it -400, and then we're going to get pulled back down, right? Okay, next up is the direction. So what is direction? This is essentially going to look for our direction in the axis. So get axis, input.getAxis is just going to check which two keys are being pressed. If UI right is being pressed, we're going to have direction is equal to 1. If UI left is being pressed, it's going to be equal to -1. If it's neither, it's going to be equal to 0. So if direction, meaning we have something, then velocity.x is going to be equal to direction times speed. So this is going to be actually moving us. Otherwise, we're going to be moving our velocity.x, so our current velocity, to 0 times speed, or using the speed acceleration, essentially. This is basically going from whatever number we're at, so let's say like 400 to 0 in the speed amount of time. And then next up is our function move and slide. This is a built-in function that Godot has that allows us to move and actually slide along our floor. So now let's animate. So let's actually take a look at how we can do that. The way we can do that is by, let's add a ready.
I don't really care about the animation part of it. player camera and game window size. Animating player with animation tree. Setting up parallaxed background. Chase the player. Wait, what was that? Scripting chase the player. You mean I can have a box chase a box? That'd be cool. Yeah, let's do that. Hmm. There wasn't as much like coding in this as I expected. We're how long have I been streaming for? Hour and 20 minutes, it looks like, and hour 30 minutes. And the first 20 or 30 minutes or so were just me fixing audio and whatnot. So, like, this is pretty phenomenal. Like, being able to create this and make a box move in less than 40 minutes. Well, let's just call it an hour. That box jump ain't that high. Let's go here. There's somewhere that he made unique, but I don't remember what it was. If you're here. Yeah, definitely needs to be unique. Let's just do it this way. Put it here. What's this for? Okay, whatever. So, can I just put in like any kind of texture? Like, just any kind of SVG file? Can I do this? Can I edit this and make it this big? Oh, yeah. Oh boy. All right, so what I'm gonna do here is resize. Let's see. Let's go width 800, height 200, 100. Yeah. So now let's go here and let's make this brown. And then we'll go here, select nothing. This, oh, actually, let's go back to brown there. Oh, you son of a bitch. There we go. Green. Almost looks like Minecraft. All right, let's go file, save as. Let's go ground. Where the hell is this at? Let's just throw it on my desktop. So now let's come over here. Go to my desktop. Ground. Paste that in this thing, even though it's a PNG file. Can I add it? Oh, it looks like I can. Oh boy, I can. It's awesome. All right, let's reload this. Oh, I probably should have made it stand up taller. All right, where is the collision shape at? Because I want the collision shape to be the top of the ground here. Cool. Well, I successfully did what I set out to do today, which is to make a box move. There was a lot of other things in that tutorial video I watched that, yeah, would be kind of cool, but downloading the thing, like the resource pack and messing with the same thing is just not really my style. I like watching things, taking bits and pieces, and making it work however I can. I wonder if I can save this and send it to people. Maybe I need to go back to watching that video. That's not what I wanted. Where's the video? Here we go.
Any function. So to do that,
All right, so let's see here. Saving and loading the game, adjusting gold count to UI, set up collectible items, animating tweens, timer nodes for spawning items, RNG. Oh man, I really should just finish watching this video. Outro and goodbye. Oh, it didn't tell me. Okay, well, I think first I need to go here. And we need a button. Button. Let's go add button. And we want the button to be under the world. It's going to be we're going to have this be the escape button. And then it's going to be escape or main menu. Shitbag. There we go. Put this in this top right corner over here. And so, from what I learned on the buttons, I can go here, main menu, or quit moving block. Quit moving box. So now I can go to world script and create and escape button node pressed connect, and then we're going to go with get tree. And then we're going to get, what was it? Is it go to? No. Dot scene, change scene to file. That's what I want. And for this one, we want that's world. Yeah, that's what we want right there. Yeah. Oh, I can infinitely go. Cool. Okay, project version control. Tools. Compatibility. Editor. Help. Debug. Tools. Install Android build template. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Let's see. How to export game from Godot. Oh, I see. So I can compile it on Godot though? Project settings, version control, export, customize engine build configuration, tools, C+, reload current project. Well, let's go to export, add Windows Desktop. No export template found at the export path Windows Desktop. Blah, blah, blah. Export, close. Okay, so how do I compile? Building from source. Getting the source, introduction to the build system, building the target platform. Okay, well, I guess I go for getting the source. I had to download the source code. It didn't just come with the program. All right, let's go for a video here. Export to exe beginner tutorial. Posted
Hello
10 months
everyone,
ago.
welcome back to another tutorial. And in this one, I'm going to be showing how to export to Windows. So first off, we want to go to Editor and Manage Export Templates. This will make sure you have all the prerequisites for exporting to your desired platform. So I'm going to select Official GitHub Release.
Editor, manage export templates. So editor, manage export templates, GitHub release mirror, download and install. Now, let's go back to the video I was watching. There it is.
To Editor and Manage Export Templates. This will make sure you have all the prerequisites for exporting to your desired platform. So I'm going to select Official GitHub Releases. This one I have experienced to be the fastest. Usually the Available Mirror and Detox Family are a little bit slower on the download. So just simply download and install. That's complete. We're going to close out of that and project. Okay. Now after that's complete, we're going to close out of that and project, export. We're going to be adding a Windows desktop. We're not going to be adding UWP since this is for this is different than Windows desktop. This is more for like Microsoft Store and Xbox.
Oh. Let's go. Close. Go to scene. Now project. Export. Windows desktop. Okay, so now that I got it on the screen here.
So add that. I recommend embedding the PCK, but it's completely up to you. This will just make sure that there is not an extra file generated beside the exe file.
Oh. Good to know. RC
It will not affect the exported file beyond just the icon being the default Godot logo. So you can change your file version into your company.
Okay, so done here, file version. Leave empty to use project version. Well, we're gonna go 1.0. Alpha. Company name. Godot. Software. Game name. Move a block. File description. Check out this block. You can move. Copyright. Godot software 2024. Trademarks none. Export angle, sure. Remote deploy, probably not. DocNet, probably not. Resources, exposes all resources of the project. Filter, yeah, features. Encryption.
Company name, your game name,
Icon.
okay, and you can edit file description, copyright, all that stuff. I'm gonna leave those blank for now. I'm going to export. Going to export to any file that you.
Okay, so now I can just export project. Let's go ahead. Just take this all the way up. Make a box move.exe. What? Prepare template failed to copy export template. Okay. Invalid file version. Oh. Damn.
So you want, so I'm going to export to my desktop tutorial export file. And if you want to view the command prompt with your debug lines, such as, print out a certain variable, you need to tick this on, and this will automatically open up the command prompt when you launch the game. But for most cases, you want this off. So if we go and save that, again, we're going to ignore these RC edit warnings. I can go to where that file saved to, and if we load it up, you can see that's in the exe. You can see that I have the game playing standalone in the exe. You can see it's right here, loaded up. And just to exit it, you exit it like a normal exe. And yeah, so very simple.
Yeah, except the problem that I'm having is maybe I just edited too many things. Failed to copy export template. Why are all these lines here? Could not start. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so it just couldn't. It couldn't go to my C drive. That's what the issue was. Like, so now, if I go to my desktop here, I can click make a box move, which opens up this, and I can make the box move. Yeah. Hmm. Cool. All right, I think that's everything that I set out to do today. Like my main function was to just make this box move. So I'll be back on tomorrow around this time to, I don't know, actually. I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow because I made the box move. So maybe tomorrow I'll add some platforms and some other stuff, or maybe a double jump. Double jump seems pretty good. Because if I put a platform on there, the platform pretty much has to be one space. Because it's not Mario, it can't, oh, I also can't use A and D to move. Platform could only be so tall. I don't want to go that way, I'll fall right off. And maybe I'll work on moving some background or something, I don't know. Maybe I'll design my own little square there, actually. I will design my own little box, little icon, and it'll be great.